My girlfriend's coworker called me a housewife at her work dinner, so she shut it down fast. I'm sick of people acting like I'm not a real man because of how my girlfriend and I run our life. She makes about $80,000 as a software engineer. I make about $400 a week, working 2 days at a bookstore. We sat down, ran the numbers, and it made sense. She could cover the big bills, and I could handle the daily stuff. Her family hated it right away. Her dad cornered me at a barbecue and said, "You know people are talking, right?" At Thanksgiving, her brother called me a leech, loud enough that everyone heard. Her mom kept asking my girlfriend when I was going to get a real job, like my job didn't count. My friends made jokes too. A roommate from college saw me buying groceries on a Tuesday afternoon and said, "Must be nice living off her." A guy at the gym asked if I had to ask permission before I bought anything. I smiled, but it still stung, because nobody was seeing what I was actually doing. Most days, I'm up at 6 a.m. I make her coffee exactly how she likes it, and pack a lunch so she doesn't skip meals. I handle the bills, the appointments, the calendar, and all the calls nobody wants to make. I walk our 2 dogs, clean, do laundry, and keep the kitchen stocked. If something breaks, I fix it, or I learn how. I just renovated our guest bathroom by myself with tutorials and a lot of trial and error. When she gets home, the house is calm, dinner is ready, and she can focus on her job without worrying about everything else. That setup is part of why she's doing so well. Last month, she got promoted to senior director, the youngest person at her company to reach that level. Her team planned a big celebration dinner at a downtown steakhouse, and she insisted I come. I wore my best suit from a thrift store and tried to act like I belonged there. The moment we walked in, I felt out of place. Her coworkers looked sharp and expensive, like they always lived in places like this. Everyone was smiling and polite, but it felt like they were studying me. We sat down, menus opened, drinks came, and people started doing that work dinner small talk. Then the questions aimed at me started. "So what do you do?" I said, "I work at a bookstore part-time, and I manage our household." A couple people nodded. Then the conversation died really fast. One guy immediately turned away to talk about bonuses. A woman asked my girlfriend about the merger, like my answer was a dead end. Halfway through dinner, a loud guy from the New York office leaned back in his chair, glass in hand, and said, "So you're basically a housewife." His buddies laughed. My stomach dropped, but I kept my face calm. I said, "I prefer house husband." Under the table, my girlfriend squeezed my hand so hard, I knew she was furious. Her boss stood up later to make a toast about my girlfriend. She talked about her long hours and her strategy during the Watson merger crisis, and how the company couldn't have done it without her. Everyone clinked glasses, and I tried to stay quiet. Then my girlfriend pushed her chair back and stood up. She wasn't smiling at all. "I need to interrupt you," she said, and the whole table went silent. She looked around and said, "During that Watson merger, I worked 90-hour weeks for 2 months. I slept 4 hours a night. I was so stressed I forgot to eat, and I was close to breaking down." She pointed at me. "I didn't miss a single deadline, and you know why? Because of him." People turned to look at me, and my face went hot. She kept going anyway. "He made my lunches so I'd eat something real. He handled our bills and my calendar so I didn't miss my dentist appointment or my car inspection. He took care of the dogs, the house, the cleaning, the shopping, everything." She tapped her jacket and said, "He picked up my dry cleaning at midnight when I realized I needed it for a morning presentation." Then she said, "When I was panicking at 2 a.m., he talked me down and got me back to work." She turned and looked straight at the New York guy. "You think that's funny? You have no idea how much work it is to keep a life running." Then she looked at her dad, who was staring at his plate. "And Dad, you want to know what's manly? Having the confidence to be who you are, and building a life that actually works, not one that looks good to strangers." The New York guy's face went red, and he suddenly got very interested in his drink. For a second, nobody moved. Then her boss started clapping, slow at first, and then more people joined in until the whole room was clapping. Her boss lifted her glass and said, "To the team behind every success." Everyone raised their glasses toward me, and I didn't know what to do with my hands. My girlfriend and I left a few minutes later. Outside, the air was cold, and I could finally breathe again. We were almost at the car when her dad rushed up behind us. He looked at me, swallowed hard, and said quietly, "I owe you an apology. Now they're saying I'm a freeloader for staying home. Was I wrong?"